I'm Deanna Springer, live at the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show, and I'm joined by Ann Dawson. Welcome, Ann.
Thank you,
We're
Deanna.
standing in front of your exhibit, the original 1876 Centennial Project.
Yes.
Yes, that's a lot, and there are a lot of quilts here.
There are a lot of quilts here. There are 17 quilts here from this project. The original quilt from which all of these quilts have been derived, it was made in 1876, hence the long and cumbersome name.
So it's an antique quilt.
It's an antique quilt where it started. Back in 2015, I was asked to draft a pattern for this by a group of friends where I live on Lopez Island in Washington State. And eventually I agreed to do the project in concert with the quilt's owner. The antique is owned by Barbara Manasian, and she lives in Connecticut. So we did this all long distance over the internet.
Wow. We have the technology to do that now.
Yeah, we do. Without the technology, this project would never have happened. And so this is a photograph of the original quilt. Made in 1876 for the Centennial.
And there are all types of different designs going on, many different blocks, initial blocks in there.
There are initial blocks in there, and on the original quilt it says EMC. Unfortunately, we don't know what those initials mean because there's no backstory to this quilt.
Well, maybe someone will recognize
I
it.
keep waiting for somebody to say, I know that quilt. I have one that looks just like it at home. The quilt was found at an estate sale. And purchased out of an estate sale, so the owner doesn't know anything about it. Yeah, in Connecticut.
In Connecticut,
In Manchester, Connecticut.
Is it? Would you call it a block sampler?
It's a sampler quilt with a medallion, center medallion setting, and it has 74 different blocks in it.
74 blocks. What size is the original quilt?
The original quilt measures about 89 inches square.
So a nice bed quilt.
A nice bed quilt, and most people do currently make one that is about 80 to 90 inches square. You can supersize it with a border if you like as well.
Sure, for a king size.
For a king size,
Okay.
you got it.
All right. All right. And how did you get started? Once you drafted the pattern, did you put the call out to make
No,
quilts?
I actually drafted the pattern about 2 weeks ahead of the group of people I was teaching.
Oh.
So I was asked to do it, and then we got started, and I worked 60 plus hours a week drafting the patterns, all from photographs, because I didn't see that quilt for the first year.
Oh, my.
And then I led them through this pathway, and about a year and a half later, most of the tops were done. And another year and a half later, we actually premiered our exhibit in Houston in 2018.
At the International Quilt Festival.
Yeah, which was really a thrill for all of us.
Wonderful.
And
Well, that's where our publicist, PBS Wisconsin publicist Tara, saw your exhibit and said, we need to bring this to the Great Wisconsin Quilt
and
Show.
I'm so happy you just called me up and said, hey, we'd love to have you. And I said,
could you bring your quilts?
of course.
They're
This is
just
great.
lovely.
Thank
So these
you.
are all your students' quilts.
These are all my students' quilts. I do have one in the exhibit, but
Okay.
primarily, the rest of them are all students, all the way from expert quilt makers to people who really had not done this kind of work before.
All from Washington?
No.
All quilt makers?
Many of these quilts are from Washington, but there are quilts here from Colorado and Utah, I think Michigan, a variety of states. Lots and lots of people around the country have done them, as well as overseas, Australia and Europe.
So international, too.
International, yeah.
Well,
which is
congratulations.
really exciting.
What
You
a
get to meet
successful.
people from all over the place.
What a
I love
successful
it.
project. Quilting always brings people together. Quilting brought us together.
Yes, it does. It totally does. It's
And since you were going to be here, we invited you to do some teaching. Tell us
Yes.
what you'll be teaching this week.
I'm going to be lecturing, and the title of my lecture is The Quilt That Changed My Life, and this quilt totally changed my life. What I'm doing today is quite different from what I was doing 9 years ago when this all started, and I'd love to share that with folks.
Well, we look forward to attending your lecture.
Thank you.
And learning more about this. And you have to come and see this exhibit and all the other special exhibits at the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show. To learn more about this year's event and next year's event, head over to quiltshow.com.